breaking down another dance practice today, and this time it's to by Kai. This is gonna be my first time actually breaking down one of his dance practices. I'm gonna tell you guys, I loved covering this dance because it felt good on the body. There's a lot of sharp movements but also slow movements at the same time. The body rolls are iconic and the song itself is fire. It got stuck in my head when I was learning it and covering it. Let's go and break it down. And I'm gonna show you guys my favorite moments too. If you guys have not followed my Twitch, ladiesman5678, go ahead and give that a follow. I react to K-pop and break down dance practices there live. And go ahead and give this video a like, and don't forget to subscribe. I really like this intro because they give us visuals and staging, like slash blocking right away before any real choreo. I think that's underrated. So before we even get to Kai's solo or just Kai's mini solo part, I think how they started this entire dance by giving us a visual right away versus just dancing right away is super underrated, because there's just going to be a lot of dances where we just start choreo right away. But in this case, they wanted to give us something that that is nice to look at, visually appealing, so it just draws us in right away. When Kai's dancing by himself, you can really see how strong of a dancer he is through the strength of his arms and the way that he switches up his textures. He can go from hitting a lot of moves that are really sharp, and then moves like this where he has to do body rolls. He can switch it up to make it really smooth. And I think that is what makes him a strong dancer. So I want to go over, I'm not really going to go over it, but the body rolls is what makes that entire section, is because Kai is hitting all these bases, these moves really sharp. He goes into slowing down moves, and then when he brings in the girls, the backup dancers, right, they do the floor work, and then getting into the body rolls, they do a really good job of matching Kai on how to actually do the move, and it makes it really satisfying to watch because no one is slacking, everyone is matching center, aka Kai. And then we go back to a section where he's doing more sharp movement this time and switching up textures. And what I like about this middle section is that he is switching the backup dancers off and on seamlessly. Look at the traveling. And I think that part was just so underrated, where I'm actually gonna go over just this entire section right here, where he starts off with the other two. It's like he's hitting musicality to essentially let you know that these beats are there. He's snapping really fast, essentially sharp, and then he slows it down and switches it up to make it more smooth in certain moves. And then he's gonna switch out the backup dancers seamlessly, or the way that it's staged and the way that it's blocked is that they'll have them switch around but seamlessly, and Kai is gonna use this to travel around stage. And I think that's really clever because essentially we're the ones looking at Kai, and so if he's traveling across stage, you're essentially just looking, you're panning your eyes everywhere, and that's good because at least you have to pay attention and you don't want to miss out on the details. Yeah, just pay attention to how smooth and how sharp he can switch it up. And he's already been traveling right here. The bass, the swaying movement. I really like that groove that they did there, where when Kai gets to back center like this very groove, I love that. Then he switches it up to really sharp footwork movement with the arms. So he's hitting those hi-hats in the back of the song, right? When you listen to songs, you don't necessarily always hear everything in the song because you're just listening to it. But what I love about some choreographers that will hit certain sounds of the song, it's almost just like you never really knew that it was there until you see it, a dancer or a choreographer hitting those sounds in the actual song. And this is one of them, where he's hitting these hi-hats. I'm just gonna go back again because I was talking over that. So there's a series of hi-hats that he's hitting with the footwork, and the footwork and the sharp arm movement. And then one last thing before we even move on to this next section is he did this cross arm movement where he was actually matching the way that he was singing the song. And I'll point it out right here. That part where he literally does this and he's matching the way he's singing. Ooh, chef's kiss. And here's the choreo from the very beginning. He's using it to travel around stage with his dancers. And I think that's super clever because not only that it's the same choreo, he's using the same choreo to do it in a different way. Like with this, they're using columns to do that same exact thing. And they're doing like a reveal type of thing where using the body rolls, they're using it to like create this column effect where he's kind of just slowly backing into a hallway type of deal. And I think that's super clever because even though that they're using the same choreo for this second chorus, they've staged it in a different way. So that way it doesn't inherently look the same, even though it's the same choreo. This leave off effect, or I guess catch up effect, very, very genius in my opinion. I think that's overlooked. I don't think anyone really pays attention to stuff like that, but I think that's such a cool effect where Kai is gonna go down each line and then each dancer that's in those lines will catch up on the choreo and then leave. That's an underrated effect. I think I should start doing that kind of stuff too. Nice effect there, nice visuals. Again, more traveling. And I think it's like, this section right here might be the most where he didn't really travel. And they switch up, instead of doing the body rolls, they're doing the hip rolls this time. I think that was like the viral challenge that everyone was doing. They put a water bottle on their head or something like that, and they would do this hip move. I think this was super clever to not only not use the body rolls again, but to change it up on us. Like if it was your first time ever seeing this dance and you got to this part of the dance practice video, you're gonna be like, oh shit, they're not doing the body rolls this time. They're doing the hip move. So I think that's such a really clever thing to do for us watchers or us viewers to be like, to essentially get caught off guard. And you know that something different is coming rather than expecting the body rolls again. I don't know her name, but she kills this move. Cool opposite effects. I think that's a really cool opposite effect where they had each line kind of do it in different directions to give us like kind of a zipper slash zigzag kind of aesthetic. That's super cool. They got a mountain thing that they did here. That was really, really cool. So they started off with creating this like stairs, or I guess let's say a mountain that connects all the way to Kai. Right when Kai leaves and he goes and does this spin move towards back to center of the video, they do a ripple effect right behind him to create like a nice accent for Kai when he spins in front of them, essentially kind of untangling them in a way. I like with this dance practice, they did a lot of physical contact with all their dancers. I think that's like a cool, I want to say water drop effects. Like when he jumps up, when everybody jumps up, and then when they land, everyone will hit the floor instead, and then Kai stays up. I think this is a cool, like, a water drop effect where they all expand out when they hit the floor, except Kai. Yeah, we got floor work, we got traveling across the stage, physical contact, visuals, body rolls. Look at that. Come on, bro. And another solo section for Kai. I believe he did like separate takes for this. I know there was like bloopers at the end. Damn, bro. Stage presence too, with just a beanie and shit. I like this ending. He messes up. Just because he's a really strong dancer as an idol, they show us like him messing up, and I think that's I think that makes it more relatable for us because it's like, yeah, he is such a really good dancer in terms of like as an idol too. And oh shit, they're showing us him messing up or having these different takes. It makes him more relatable because it's like, oh, he's not. It's always not perfect, but like he wants to make it perfect. But that was sick. That was sick. That was my first time ever watching a dance practice from Kai, and again, I was not really, I was expecting to not be disappointed because I just knew the dance already when I learned it, when I covered it myself. It felt good on the body. The song is fire. I think the one thing that's really overlooked in this dance practice in general is I think the amount of travels or the amount of traveling across stage, the physical contact, and the actual visuals of the formations. Other than that, it's like it's just a fun dance practice to watch, and I'm glad I broke this one down because I think there was some moments that I feel like I can highlight and show you guys why people enjoyed this and why I enjoyed this in the first place. I'm gonna be breaking down more dance practices from Kai. I'm not sure which ones just yet, but if you guys have any suggestions on which ones I should be breaking down from Kai, leave the comments down below. Peace.